Good morning. My name is Reverend Dr. Becca Edwards with Texas Impact.
And I'm Regina Banks with the Evangelical Lutheran Church.
We're here at COP30 in Belém, Brazil, and we're filming from our accommodation this morning because we had a pretty late night last night after getting evacuated from the venue.
That was really exciting. Do we have any ideas yet on what happened?
Well, it sounds like a protest that had formed outside got a little unruly, and some of the protesters tried to storm into the COP facility itself. It's just another example of the high emotions and tensions that are represented by the global body that we have here at the COP.
Everybody in our team is safe, and it was just made for an exciting evening. But yesterday, the two of us had an opportunity to attend several conversations and speeches at the Americas All In Pavilion. As you know, the U.S. State Department is not present here at COP30, and so ordinarily we would see governors and mayors from all over the country at the U.S. State Department Pavilion. But because they're not here, those conversations, those speeches are happening at the Americas All In and in the Business Pavilion. So we got an opportunity to sit and listen to two governors, the governor of New Mexico and the governor of the state of California, came and had conversations with the crowd, and it was an exciting time here at COP.
Yeah, it was a spirited conversation, lots of great questions from the audience, and just an inspiring collection of wisdom from our subnational leaders. A couple of themes emerged, and one of them is something that we've been talking about for some time, and it's that climate action starts at the local level, despite what's going on at the federal level. I know Gavin Newsom talked about how power in the US comes from the bottom up, not the top down, and that climate action starting at the local level is kind of growing and coalescing and will turn into a larger national movement with time. So that was an optimistic note.
I will tell you, I was a proud Californian yesterday, and Gavin Newsom talked about how if the rest of the world is finding the United States to be unreliable partners, the state of California is open for business and has been since back to the governorship of Ronald Reagan and Nixon and others pretty consistently from the 1960s forward. So even though the administrations change every 4 years, every 8 years in Washington, D.C., we've got 50 labs of democracy throughout the United States, plus many cities in red states, in blue states, in purple states, and green states that are all ready to work with our international and multilateral partners to bring about the climate justice that we're all here seeking. So that was, I felt great about that.
Another thing that I noticed about the panel that I thought was really neat was that they assembled a team of people from all different parts of society. They had a doctor, a professor, a businessman, and a local government sustainability officer. And they all talked about the different ways that their work can be considered climate action. And all of them contributing in their own unique way to solving the problem. And it was just a great example of collaboration and the diversity of ways that the US is approaching this problem.
Can I be a little honest? Because we sat at the Americas All In Pavilion, and the first panel that we saw, it was that very diverse panel that you heard. And when I heard some of the business interests that were there, I believe Philip Morris and PepsiCo were some of the featured guests, I was incredibly skeptical because I don't tend to think of them as being great climate actors. But I say, and here in the faith community, we say it takes a whole of society approach in order to address this climate calamity. And if you say all of society, then you've got to believe that it's all of society and that there's a place for everyone at the table for these negotiations. So I was skeptical, but I was delighted and humbled to hear some of the ways that business interest is at least taking the climate crisis seriously and willing to speak to the moment.
Well, I joined you in your initial skepticism, but I will say I was also impressed by what the business interests had to say, especially the sustainability officer with Trane, which is an air conditioning company, and his awareness that air conditioning is an important climate adaptation. I know another one of the panelists, Dr. Mary Rice from Harvard, was saying that air conditioning is a medical intervention that's essential in an era of increased extreme heat. But many of the panelists kind of got down to the fact that in many cases, climate action makes good business sense, and especially in sustainability for corporations and using less energy, using energy more efficiently. All of those things affect the bottom line in a really positive way. And so that's just another reason that we've started this climate action movement, and despite what's going on in Washington, it's not going to stop.
So we should probably get over to the venue now and see what's going on for day 3 of COP.
Keep checking in. We'll have dispatches every day from COP30 in Belém, Brazil.